Hey, I'm Hilik, owner of HVMA Social Media.
My name is Antonio, Digital Marketing Strategy here for HVMA.
And we're going to talk about what to do and not to do, actually. It's not just on Instagram stories.
Okay.
Right? Or how to optimize. So, point number one, we spoke about that in a previous video as well. Don't make so many stories per day. Because what happens is people tend to skip it.
I agree.
When you have those little lines over there, you never watch the whole thing, right? You skip. Even if the first or second are interesting, like at some point you start to, okay, I got it.
All right, I'm done.
Right, I'm done. So just make a decent amount of them, 4, 5, 6 per day. That should be enough, and people get your content.
Yeah, and another thing too is that I don't think people use Instagram stories enough to nurture their audience. And so I think especially if you're a business owner or brand, you should start using it to really poll certain things. So let's just say you have, a product coming out in the fall, right? And you want to see what people or how people will react to it, right? So posting it on your stories and doing a poll, just simple as yes or no. Do you like this one? Or maybe put up 2 pictures and say, and ask, which one do you prefer, right? And so polling your audience, really nurturing and really making them feel like they're a part of the process, I think is a good way to use, Instagram stories. What do you think?
Totally agree. The whole thing of the stories is the behind the scene, the authentic feeling, or to know the daily stuff of somebody that you follow. Then you definitely want to involve the other person. They're looking for that connection, and that's definitely the point of the stories, I think.
I agree.
So here's another one. When you create stories, I prefer to create them in threes. So think about, first of all, the word story. It's got to be a story. It's not just Instagram story, it's a story. And I put them in 3 steps. So for example, if we're talking about, let's say, even a food thing, okay? So first you show how you make the food, then you show the food as it's done, and then the third one will be some kind of a call to action, say how to get it. So the same thing we're talking about, social media. So I'll show you how we create content, the content when it's done, and then if you want to work with us, you understand? So
3-step process.
3 steps. So there's a story also going, not a storyline because it's too short, but some kind of a story going there.
No, I definitely agree. I definitely think, posting sporadically on your stories is not going to get you as much engagement, right? Because you can start to see, in your analytics, and we can get into that, studying your analytics for your stories, where people drop off at. You can see where people forward, go back, exit, right? And so if you notice that you're getting a lot of exits from your stories, it's because you're probably not telling a cohesive story to keep people watching, So I definitely agree.
Agreed. Another thing about the stories is when you upload a story, Instagram is pushing your story to the front. So when you go to your account, your profile right now, and you have the stories on the top, then the one that are new are going to the front, right? The one you've seen already is
in the back,
pushed all the way to the back. So the idea is, if you can create a new story every 2-3 hours, then you're gonna be in the front. So if you're talking about even 3 hours per day, we're talking about 3 to let's say only 3. That's 9 hours per day. That's still good that you will be all the time in the front and nobody will miss you. Or if they did, they still have the chance. Because even if they watch it and you go to the back, they don't. You don't disappear for the next 8-9 hours. You're there, or 24 hours, and you're there. So take advantage of that tool. That Instagram is actually pushing it.
No, I definitely agree. I think there is a balance to how much you post, right? Because you don't want to post too much, you don't want to post too less. But I definitely think going back to the cohesive story part, like you said, if I post, hey, I'm starting to cook at 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and then you say, hey, I finished the dish at 4 or 5, and then you say, hey, this is how you can get it, or maybe you eating it or whatever, that's a way to have people feel like it's a cohesive story. And then since stories last for 24 hours, more than likely people are going to watch the whole thing because they want to see, okay, what was the journey that you took us through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think having that relationship, and then even midway, ask people maybe add additional stories of what could I've done differently, or what do you guys think, or like
engaging stories.
Yeah, and just adding those polls in there, I think could really, really help.
So what's better, an engaging story that actually asks the people what would you do, or their opinion, or just put the engagement stickers?
Now, I think either doing both. So I think if you physically ask, like get on camera or get on video and ask, what do you think? And then having that poll as well, I think that's kind of like a double engagement, because now they feel like, okay, they're actually talking to me specifically, right? And then I'm asking the poll as well. So I think if you can add both, I think that's going to give you the best results.
Okay, here's another thing about stories. Tell me your opinion, because this one is not clear, to most people. Should you use hashtags in stories?
Ooh, that's a tough one. So using hashtags in stories are not gonna hurt you.
Obviously.
I think for me, I've used them in my own personal accounts, and I personally haven't seen a lot from them, but I know people that have used them, and it works. It's really all about testing, right? Because Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, they don't come out and specifically say any of these things specifically work. Like Instagram has never came out and said.
Are you complaining about the manual now?
I'm just saying.
There's no manual.
There's no real manual, right?
Manual.
Yeah. So Instagram has never came out and specifically said, you can't 30 hashtags is the best way to do whatever, right? In a feed post. However, they do give you the option. So if they give you the option, why wouldn't you use the option? Why wouldn't you use as many as they give you?
Listen to the network, right? Okay, so they give you 30 hashtags on a post or 10 hashtags on a story. Use it.
Use it.
There's another issue with it though, because the algorithm understands which industry you use or which topics.
Right.
And when you use too many hashtags, it kind of takes you too broad.
Right.
It's a theory because again, no manual. But one thing that is recommended is to use in the features that they have. They give you one hashtag to use on a story, just like the location one, right? So that hashtag matters, and then you want to use that at least for the most relevant content for that specific story.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. I think if they give it to you, use it. It could only help. It can't hurt you, right? So if they give you a feature to use in stories or feed post or whatever, use what they give you. Because if not, you're only putting your account at a disadvantage.
And you think that will help you grow your account?
I think
if you do the stories correct, you think it will help you grow?
I don't think stories is more of a growing, for growing purposes. I think stories in general is just more for nurturing. And just nurturing your audience. I don't think stories...
Because it's only for people that are already
following you. Yeah, so I don't think stories is going to help you grow, right? But I do think it's better to use stories to nurture your audience, and you can definitely close more sales and just get more traffic to, your other call to actions that you have. Okay.
Anything else to add about stories?
Nope, that's all I got.
Okay, so I think it was helpful, hopefully, for them, right? So thanks for watching. We'll have more videos like this. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to watch more and let us know what you think. That's it. See you next time.
Yeah, that'll be easy.
All right.